Good morning, and thank you for tuning into Soul Shine. I'm your host, Serenity Jenny, and this is episode 44. I have a few requests here. I am going to cover some more numerology. Everybody likes hearing about numerology. I love hearing your feedback. Call us, text us, leave us a voicemail. 724-953-9733. Go online, synergysprings.com. Send us a web submission form. You can have a whole bunch of text in your contact us now box on that website. We want to hear from you. Go ahead and send us some feedback. We love hearing from you guys. Tell us what you want to hear more of, and let us know how I'm doing. Like, tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you want more of. So it's episode 44, and I thought that this would be the perfect episode to cover 1111, because that is a wake-up call. That is bringing you online, so to speak, to seek more, to seek, to dive deeper, to dig, to, maybe mine your spiritual akash a little bit. So let's talk about the meaning of the number 11 first and foremost. It's a master number. It's the most intuitive of all numbers. It's instinctual, charismatic, dynamic, and capable when its insights are to set on a concrete goal. So the number 11 is associated with faith and psychics. So my birth month and day add up to an 11. I was born at 11:21 in the morning, and I had seen 9/11. That was my very first number that I consistently saw growing up, and I thought that was because of my dad dying. My dad actually died on 1/11 of 1990. That ends up being 911 backwards. That also adds up to an 11. And I worked at several different 911 centers. I worked on an ambulance, all associated with 911 or 9/11. And 11 has just followed me all of my life. And I didn't know what that was. I honestly, until it got overwhelming in 2010, 2011, I truly did not know what it meant. It's a wake-up call. It's a phenomenon. And, everybody says, it's 11:11, make a wish. Why? Why are you making a wish at 11:11? To be quite honest with you, 1111 is like a sacred key, a master number, a master symbol to unlock potential. Like 11, 22, and 33, very powerful ascended masters numbers. 11 doubled is 22. That is huge. 11 tripled is 33. We can go on and on. Jesus died on the cross when he was 33. This is episode 44. That's 4 sets of 11s. 11's a palindrome. Forwards, backwards, upside down. It's all 11. If you put 11 together, it's always 11. So, and we don't condense master numbers in numerology, but 11 is like a reminder to, these are keys for you to the kingdom being righteous thinking or right thinking, peace and joy. There's a lot more to this world than you can perceive with your physical senses. And there's a lot of people still to this day, probably none of which are listening to this podcast right now. Everybody listening to this is listening with intent to increase their connection to source, to self, to the God within, and to the grid, electromagnetic through frequency, to all that is. And, and I'm not a computer, see, I can't even say the word. I'm barely computer literate. No, I know a little bit about it, but, when we talk about binary code, it either is or it isn't. And it's 11s it's 11s. See, that's how my brain works. It's ones or zeros. So, and here's a cute little tidbit to know too. Did you know that in the Bible, John 11, verse 11 is when Lazarus was risen from the dead? Go figure. Here's another cute little tidbit for you. There were 11 apostles because one betrayed Jesus. So there were actually 11. How about that? And I'm sure you've heard the phrase, the 11th hour, right? People prayed at the 11th hour. Jesus prayed at the 11th hour. Gardeners are called in to harvest crops at the 11th hour. It's the perfect ripeness. I have a girlfriend. She always pulls through at the 11th hour. I was born on the 11th hour. And the First World War, I believe, ended on the 11th month and the 11th day. Check this stuff out. Get curious. Wake the fuck up already. Like, there is so much more out there than you even know. I mean, seriously. I mean, not to be like, I don't know. I don't even know what the word is that I'm looking for. Like, I'm not being judgmental, but for the love of God, get curious. Like, there's so much to know. I don't know about you guys, but I love to learn. I love to learn. We are going to a crystal mine to mine quartz, clear quartz crystal at the end of the month. And I am so curious. I'm getting my family involved. Like, I want them to be curious. I want them to know why we, can get vibrational healing from rocks. I mean, let's just be real about this. We're picking up a rock and it's going to heal us. Why? Why is that happening? Why is it happening when we look at a number? We know it's a cue that there's something more going on. What is that cue? And listen to this. String theory proposes there are 11 dimensions. Okay? This is 3-dimensional field that we live in. String theory proposes, look it up. We'll cover that sometime soon in a podcast. But string theory proposes there are 11 dimensions. Guess what dimension number 11 is? Let's scratch our head a little bit. That would be time. How about that? And back to November 11th. That's Remembrance Day. November 11th is Remembrance Day. Give me a break now. Remembrance? Hello? We're remembering a lot of things. So this year on 11/11, I took matters into my own hands, and I'm having a huge, huge psychic fair, a huge meditation, a huge sip and paint following that for fellowship and just connectedness. I'm taking this 11/11 seriously because if you haven't noticed yet, 2018 adds up to an 11. This is an ascended master year. I just gave myself goosebumps saying that. And on 11/11, on a year that adds up to an 11, we're going to be game changers. If you want to be in the vibration of peace and love and alignment and righteousness and right thinking on a higher plane, you want to be in Scottsdale Fire Hall, Scottsdale Fireman Social Hall, which has just gotten redone. It's very beautiful, on November 11th. So, even looking at your football teams, you have 11 players, hockey teams, 11 players. First manned mission to the moon, supposedly, but anyhow, that's another story, was Apollo 11. I think Joseph had 11 brothers, if I'm not mistaken, and wasn't he the 11th child of Jacob? Hello? I mean, this is all making sense, right? Why is that number coming up for you? Or why is there a set of numbers coming out for you? It's because it's saying keep the faith. Like, there's evidence here that of things unseen. Like, go look for them. What does that feel like? Wake up to your own possibility. Wake up to the possibility that you're connected to something way bigger than just everything that is on this 3-dimensional place. Like, the word impossible actually says I'm possible. Come on. Like, wake up to this. You can make a difference. When you have faith, there's more to this than the physical. It starts to show up in big ways. So if you see 11/11 or you see a number and you don't know what it means, the number one thing that you can say internally to yourself, I mean, even out loud if you want to, but what's the message? What am I feeling right now as I'm seeing this number? What am I thinking about? What am I feeling? And what does this mean to me? Now, some things, are going to be consistent over time and mean the same things to a lot of different people. But, one of my friends, he's a dentist, and his culture believes the number 8 is bad. It means death. And the way he says it in his language is kind of funny. I'm like, no, that's abundance. He's like, no, that's death. That's terrible. So, different strokes, different folks. But one thing's consistent. When you see the number 11/11, you know it means something. You know that you're being challenged to wake up. And in the next podcast, I am going to cover all the master numbers ranging from 11 to 99. But I want to challenge you to just take a deep breath. Bring in all that white light. Bring in all that love, all that peace, all that joy, and blow out anything that's holding you back from experiencing that total bliss. Like really, take 5 of those deep breaths. 5's major changes, right? Allow that energy just to permeate every cell of your being. Allow yourself to be in the place of receiving, in the place of possibility, and know that you are divinely connected to all that is. That string that flows through you, whatever that is that's invisible, is connecting you to all that is. And you have access to this. It is like your permission to access this information, this deep wisdom that you have had in your being all this time. I have now recorded for 11 seconds, and I love you, and I wish you much love and many blessings. I'm going to end this recording on 11/11.